Hey, everybody. I'm going to not start right away. I want to give people a chance to pop on. But I hope you are doing so well. Say hey in the comments. We want to get this party started. I am super jazzed to be talking about a little bit of training. So I'm Coach Sierra. So hey, happy Tuesday. How is everybody doing out there? Everybody doing it. I love it. Oh yeah, we're getting people in. I see you, Megan. Ah, it is super cloudy over here where I'm at. How's the weather over where you're at? Is it sunny? Is it rainy? Is it humid? It's humid. I'm in Virginia Beach, which is super humid. I'm originally from Texas though, so this isn't too big of a deal. I love it. Yeah, we're happy to have you. It's going to be so fun. Got a lot to chat about, so we're going to have fun. We're going to have fun. I love it. It's hot over where you're at, Megan. I love it. And sunny. I wish it was a little sunnier, but I'll take the cloudiness. It's a little cooler today. 92. Oh yeah, you're close to me. It's about 92 here too. Uh, yeah. Kristen made such a good point. Remember, every comment we're giving away those 10 macro tracking like a pro in 7 days or less courses. We love every like, comment is going to just help you get entered into that. So we love to see you. We love to hear you. And we love to hear all the questions and comments and all the pieces. So bring it. We are excited to have you. Well, I think we'll get started here. Welcome back to the Empower Her Level Up workshop. We are just seriously so jazzed to be doing this. I know if you were here yesterday, you got a chance to hear Coach Katie and Coach Megan just absolutely crush nutrition and macros and planning out your meals and also snacks and a lot more than just snacks. But this is so beautiful because it leads into what we're going to talk about today, which is something I believe deep in my heart fascinates us and frustrates at the same time, our training. And a lot of times we think, I'm working out. Why am I not getting that fit, feminine physique, that toned body that I want? Why am I working so hard in the gym and not getting the benefit of looking and feeling the way I want to in my body, right? And what we're going to do today is dive into the 5 reasons we see here at Queens of Iron are the biggest pieces that are going to help transform your progress and make you just an absolute powerhouse inside and even outside of the gym. So, if you are ready, give me a let's go in the comments because I'm ready. Let's go. Let's go. All right. So, reason number 1, we've got 5 reasons, and this one is probably one of the biggest reasons we see women not getting the results they want is your programming. And there's something in the fitness space that we love to say as program specificity, right? And you don't need to get hung up on the words, right? We don't need to go there. What that means is we want to get really specific about the muscles we are training in our workouts because there is this place where we want to build this physique, right? A fit feminine body. That means we want to be laser focused on the muscles we're targeting. We want to make sure that we are working the muscles to build that physique. And that starts with your programming. So I want you to remember this: your programming matters. And something I want us to do just to kick it off, because this is not everybody's goals. I know everybody's got their own unique goals, but for a lot of ladies out there, I know this is big. a lot of people want to target and grow their glutes, right? If you're one of those ladies, you can just like, whoop, that's me. That's me, right? But when we're thinking about this, right, from a programming perspective, let's just list a bunch of glute exercises. And if you can already think about some exercises that you're like, oh man, these are for sure ones I love to do to work my glutes, drop them in the comments. Okay. So let's just list out some beautiful exercises that are going to work our glutes. So one that comes into my brain is a squat, right? That's usually one a lot of people think about, a squat. Another one I'm thinking about, RDL, a hip thrust. Oh yeah, sumo deadlift. We could even just put deadlift, right? Yeah, hip thrust, glute bridge. We could do kickbacks. Oh my gosh, 45 back extensions. We could keep going, right? Oh, hip abductions. Yeah, like now I just want to keep writing. Oops, abductions, not deductions. There we go. And we sit here and look at all these exercises, right? Yeah, a weighted glute bridge. These are all beautiful. And this is not even the list, right? This is just some exercises. We could keep doing this for like more time. Split squats. Ooh, that's a good one too. Bulgarian split squats with foot elevated. When we think about this, right? You're wanting to grow your glutes. And we know that research says that we need like 10 to 24 sets. That's current research, 10 to 24 sets for optimal muscle building. So if we think about like, hey, I want to grow my glutes, right? We want to include what? What do we do with all this? Right? We've got squats, we got RDLs, hip thrusts, sumo deadlifts, glute bridges, kickbacks, 45 back extensions, hip abductions, split squats. What do we do? How many sets? How many reps? Are we doing all of these like all the time? Like, is this my, I mean, this would be like a, this would be like a lot of days of workouts. Is this what I need to do? So, what we want us to think about is we're not going to do all of these exercises up front, right? We want, and here at Queens of Iron, something that we do really beautifully is we love to work volume, but we love to do things in phases. So you're not going to be working every single glute exercise all the time. And you'll see programs and things doing that where they're just working a bunch of stuff, but it's not organized. And it's not to a point where you're like, yes, I'm really targeting, I'm really focused. And like I said earlier, your programming matters. If we want to build certain parts of our body, it has to be organized in a way that we're going to not only just focus on some exercises here and build here, but we're going to change out our exercises and grow and build the complete physique, right? Not just some things. And that's what I want to dig into a little bit too, because sure, we've got glutes, sure, we've got other body parts we want to work. This is where we start thinking about the workouts we are doing. So I want you to think about some mistakes or some things that we see a lot of clients doing are random workouts. Maybe they found them on Instagram. I'm going to talk about this one in a little bit more depth in a second, but ChatGPT, then you've got Orange Theory and F45, and you've got group classes. And I want to say for the record, and I want to say this for the record, these are not bad things, right? These are actually really beautiful workouts. But what I want you to think about is there's two kind of things here. I like to think of it as like more of like lifestyle, like just want to be healthy and move my body and be active, right? And then there's this other place where it's like, I have this goal where I want to be fit and I want to have this physique and I really want to build this like toned body, right? These are two different goals, right? A group random workout or group programming, those aren't designed with this building in mind. Like I said, we build these phases out. So you're building your body and shaping your body over time. But when we're going to like a group fitness class, that's to go for everybody, right? It's not for you and your personal goals. It's to hit a general population. So while it's great and they're super fun and they're super engaging, and there's something that like can keep you just really healthy, that's a little bit of a different goal than really sculpting and shaping your body. So those are two different goals. And so what I like to think about is random workouts are going to yield random results. It's not something that it's going to work those muscles and target those specific muscles. Because if you think about it, are those workouts you're doing, are they getting in enough of those sets to give you that muscle building? Is that happening? Are we actually targeting the muscles you want to work in those classes? And those are the questions I want you to just start asking yourself, because it's not a bad thing. Like I said, those are great classes. But when we're looking to build a physique, that might not be the best goal and alignment to get you to your results. And if you're going to those, you might start to notice, like, yeah, I have been going to these classes and it's not really changing my physique. And sometimes we're overworking and using the same muscles over and over and over. And that can lead to injury and just overtraining of some of those muscles too. So, this is why I just want to say we love those workouts, but a proper program is going to give you and level your body up always. So, here's where we're going to go into a chat GPT a little bit too, because chat gpt has really been on the rise, right? AI is new. It's kind of exciting and fun if you've been on there and you stop to think and you're like, oh my gosh, cool, I can just ask this AI machine for a workout, and within like 10 seconds you have a workout, which is super convenient. Except this is what I want you to think about: how is the AI creating this program for you? Is it working with you, your strengths, your weaknesses? Because when we look at programming, it is such a craft. Like, I think about the time, investments, money, education put towards learning about programming, and I don't know everything yet. And you sit there and that AI machine is just popping out a workout. But again, is it really targeting the muscles you want to get that feminine physique? Or is it just giving you a workout? So we want to be careful there, not because, again, this would I'd put under that random workouts. And that's one of those pieces we just want to make sure, like, when you have a proper program, you're going to really be able to lift beautifully, shape your body, and feel like an absolute powerhouse, which is what we love. So, when we're thinking about all of this, um, one last thing that I'm going to bring up is our friend cardio, who out there is been a cardio bunny. I'm going to raise my hand because it was me. Old Sierra was a cardio queen, cardio bunny, and I'm gonna tell a quick story about when I was postpartum, 6 weeks with my little guy. My husband's deployed, and I was so uncomfortable in my body. Before I was pregnant, I actually had back surgery. And so I was probably at the heaviest I had been in my whole life. And then I got pregnant and gained 50 plus pounds. And that was like such a like, ugh, like I was at the heaviest I had ever been, and the most uncomfortable in my body I had ever been. And my husband's deployed, and I've got a 6 week old, and it's like, let's go. Right? So what do? I go to what I know: low calories, oodles, and oodles of cardio. And I'll tell you what I did. I did an hour and a half of dance fitness, and then I ran for another 30 minutes. And I'll tell you, anytime I did cardio, I just looked really noodly. I never had, I'd always be like, like I lost weight, but I'd always be like, I just need to get toned. Like, I don't like the way I look. And that was always a huge hit, but I always lost the weight. So that was my goal. Like, let's go. But I was so burnt out. I ended up binging really hard. And a lot of people be like, but cardio burns so many calories. That's why I do it. I hate it, but I do it. But I think this is the part where it's like, hey, at the beginning, cardio can burn lots of calories. When I probably started doing the hour and a half of dance fitness and the running, I was burning a lot more calories. But our body is so efficient. It loves to just be really effective, really efficient at what it does. So over time, your body just gets better and better and better. And that cardio, I wasn't burning as many calories. I was getting so good at it. So my body's like, we don't really need to go crazy here. We don't need to burn as many calories. And so enter in weightlifting, right? That's where we want to think about what is cardio really training? Because we think like, oh, I'm losing fat, I'm losing, I'm burning a lot of calories. But really the purpose of cardio is to train your heart to pump blood more effectively throughout your body, right? It's there to help your cardiovascular system work more effectively, which is such a beautiful goal, but not necessarily the goal for building muscle, right? So while it can be a part of your goals, it's not going to be that main driver to shape your body. And it's still something we can use as a beautiful tool, but not our main driver. So if we want to really build this physique, I want you to remember programming matters, really targeting those muscles that you want to build and that give you that beautiful shape is what we want to hone in on and focus on. And that's just going to level up your body. So now, are we ready for number two? Reason number two. That one was a long one, but we really needed to dive in a little bit there. But reason number two, that you might be working so hard in the gym and not seeing those results, is your form and using proper form. And I want this just to be like something that sinks in, that anything that is not proper form is hurting your progress. Anything that is not proper form is hurting your progress, and also will open you up for injury, which we also don't want. So, what I want you to think about is when we're thinking about form, a lot of times we hear progressive overload, and I am going to talk about that. But we start being like, I just got to lift these heavy weights, or maybe we lift too light of weights. And what we want to think about is, am I working the muscle? We were just talking about like being laser focused on the muscle we want to work, right? But are we actually working that muscle? And I think about this one all the time. And I don't know if you are with me on this. I did this wrong for a long time. The lat pull down, which is such a beautiful exercise, right? And if we think about the lat pull down, what muscle are we working? We all know it's that beautiful back muscle right back in here, that lat. And you know what I was feeling? I bet you all know, right? My biceps. I was pulling, but I was pulling with my arms. I wasn't using my back muscles. That lat muscle was not being used. So, guess what? I was training. I wasn't training the muscle that I was supposed to be training. I was training my biceps. So, this is so important. That's a question to keep asking yourself as you're training. Am I actually feeling the muscle that I'm supposed to be working? Is that mind muscle connection there? Because if we don't have it, it's not something to get really judgy and mad at yourself. It's that moment to go, let's get curious. Let's take this moment to say, I'm not feeling this movement. So, what can I do, right? I'm not feeling this movement where I should. What can I do? Well, let's take a form video, right? Here at Queens of Iron, that's something that we're really big about, getting our clients to send us videos of their lifts, because we want you to level up. And your form is one of the best ways to level up, because without proper form, we're not working the muscle and we could be activating the wrong muscles. So we want to make sure we're doing that. And I think the other cool part is we'll send videos to our clients too of like modeling those movements and talking through it with them so they can see it and hear it and be able to continuously get feedback on those movements and get better and better and better over time. Because sometimes it's like that form doesn't just click instantly and you're like, boom, I crushed it. And I'll tell you, even as we do lift heavier, and that's always our goal, right? Because our body's an adapter, we're going to eventually lift a little heavier over time. we want to be able to give our bodies what they need with proper form. And we know too, we want our movements with proper form to always be controlled, effective, and precise. So, really nailing form is really going to level up your like muscle gains in the gym. And the more we don't, that's where if we try to live through things or just don't really think about it, that's where injuries can occur. And that's, I think, one of the worst possible things for us out there that are just like, I love my workouts. I love my workouts. Do not take them away from me. So we do not want to like be injured in the gym. We want to stay nice and healthy because if we mess with our ligaments, our tendons, our joints, that's where we can get sprains and strains and just leaving you out of the gym and leaving you feeling more frustrated with your progress in the gym too. So last piece I'm going to say about proper form too is making sure we're getting a full range of movement. Sometimes we're just not getting a full range. We're getting a partial rep, and that's also leading us to not getting our full maximum capacity here with our muscle gains. So making sure you're doing, again, proper form, full range of motion is really going to set you up for success. And our body, I hate to say this, but our body will also be a little bit of a cheater. I said this earlier, but our body loves to be really effective and really efficient in what it does. So if it does have maybe a heavier weight and we're doing the wrong form, your body will cheat to still get it up, but our form might be off. And so this is again why taking those form videos can be so huge. So you can start seeing where you're breaking down, because if not, what happens is your body will start to adapt to those just wrong movements. And then it's that unlearning of the wrong movements. So, really focusing on that so you don't plateau in your weight, so you're not plateauing in your gains. And something I see women do a lot too is they're like, I've been growing my glutes, I've been working my glutes, I'm working them, and I still feel like they're not growing like I want. So I'm gonna go do my whole workout, and then I'm gonna go do extra sets of other stuff, just random stuff. Because I'm like, I'm gonna just go do some, gonna pick some glute exercises and just go, right? But what that is like, we don't want more. We want better quality work, right? Better form. Because better is better. More isn't better. Better is better. We want that quality work. And that means if we're doing better, we get less time in the gym because we're not having to go try and do extra and extra and extra. We're just really honing in on like, this is my plan. I'm laser focused on what I'm building. I'm laser focused on my form. And I can now be like, yeah, here we go. This is me. I'm going to go crush it in the gym and then I get out. I'm not staying here for 3 hours doing oodles and oodles and oodles. So that's huge too. So we've got number one, having a really laser focused program that's going to be specific to your goals and shaping your body. Number two was using proper form. Okay, here we go with number three, which is, I think, a favorite, and we've all heard of this one, using progressive overload, right? And we know progressive overload just means you're doing more work over time, which a lot of times I feel like the misconception out there is it's only weight, right? Like lift more weight, go, go, go. And that's beautiful. And one way we can progressively overload, but there are just so many other ways to progressively overload, which makes your programming really fun and entertaining and engaging. And what I'll say is what we always want to think about with this is progressive overload and form. They're like best friends, right? They need to go together. Because if we want to progress in a lift, our form has to be on point first. Without proper form, progressive overload just won't happen. So those two, they're together for a reason here. You want your lifts to be proper form, perfect technique, but then you're crushing that form with using beautiful, like ways we can do progressive overload. adding more weight for sure, adding more reps. We can do partial reps like 21s or 777, staggered stances, tempos. We can play with pauses. We can play with drop sets and pause reps, and really working to just build these different pieces to challenge your muscles and really grow them, because it's not just about always lifting heavier. It's also about how can we challenge your muscles in other ways to get them to grow, because there are going to be times where you're not going to be able to always lift heavier, especially if you've been lifting for a while. It's going to take a little bit longer. Like at the beginning, I feel like you're like, yeah, I can go up in weight a lot faster. And then over time, it's like, oh man, I have to work a lot harder to build that weight up. And so these are some really great ways of overloading in so many other areas to help you level up without feeling like you're plateauing. And that's super huge. But something else about progressive overload, and this is something I just want to remind you, ladies out there, don't concern yourself with other women's weight and what they're using, because you are not them and they are not you. You don't know their life, their story, how long they've been working out. What I want to remind you when you're working to progressively overload is to focus on your form and focus on you in a way that feels just really doable. And I like to think of it as like, just to keep it super simple, is like the Goldilocks, right? Too light of a weight, if we're thinking like too light of a weight, is just going to be not enough stimulus to grow your muscle, right? So we don't want too light of a weight. But then if we go too heavy, I could be recruiting the wrong muscles. I could be recruiting like not doing right form. I could hurt myself. So I don't want to go too light. I don't want to go too heavy. I want one that is just right. And when I say just right, that means something that's really doable, but it's also challenging. You are still working. You're not like, oh, this is easy. I love it. Like, you're like, oh, I'm having to work it in the gym. That's what we want, because that is how you're going to continue to grow your muscles. So I know Kristen says this all the time, but our rule of thumb at Queens of Iron is, for example, if you have in your like programming squats and you're doing 12 squats, that's your reps. And you can do two more. So that would mean you did 14 beautiful, perfect squats with beautiful form, right? Then, and you did that for all of your sets, not just like the first set, but all of your sets, you're able to go up. Then we want to lift that heavier weight. Or we may want to change your programming and do something different and add in some of these different techniques, right? So, this is something I just want to remind you when it comes to progressive overload. Set goals, because that is going to help keep you really focused on what you're building, what you want, and help you kind of chip away at like building that up over time. But something that I swear by to this day is a log book. If you are not writing down your weights, if you're not writing down little notes to yourself, because this is where it can be so powerful, what notes you're writing down of like, oh man, that weight, I need to stay here. My form was off. I was, lifting with my biceps. I could feel it there. I really want to hone in on form, drop the weight. All of those notes, because oh my gosh, I can't sometimes remember what I ate for lunch 3 days ago. How am I supposed to remember what I did in my workout like last week? That's not what we want, right? Write the notes, write them down so you can refer back. And then that workout you're going into, you're really setting an intention and intensity for that workout so you can just go in and absolutely crush it and sit. Like, I keep saying this, but like, be that powerhouse in the gym, get those progress, and that's going to just level your results like just exponentially. So here we go. I'm going to keep going. You ready? Targeted program, proper form, proper technique, progressive overload. And these two kind of work together, right? And now I want to talk about something that a lot of us women can sometimes have a hard time with, because we are high achievers. We love to go, we love to work it, and we love to utilize our time very specifically, very wisely, right? And this is using rest. And I'm going to talk about rest inside the gym, but also outside of the gym. And this is so important because they both work together. So, something I want you to think about is in the gym, a lot of times us women, we love to go, 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 right? If you think about our bodies and how they're built, we love to be that person who's working to just absolutely sweat, feel the burn, go. And we were made to have these bodies that were pushing out babies. They can endure a lot, right? So when we think about what we're doing, a lot of times that rest in your workout just feels optional, right? It's like, and I'm not going to rest for 60 seconds or 90 seconds or 2 minutes. That's a long time. Nope. I'm just going to just take a take a breath and bust right back into it. But that rest time is there for a reason, right? It's not there just willy-nilly. It's not there just to make you sad, make you have to wait and make a longer time in the gym. It is there to help keep you lifting heavier, keep you progressing, making sure we're recruiting the right muscles, and really building a quality workout. So that rest time is absolutely essential. And then if we think about it, I'm going to talk about resting outside of the gym. A lot of times we're like, I am such a high achiever. I want to work out every day. I love the routine. I love keeping things consistent. But rest days are so essential. Your body does need time to rest and recover. If we think about our muscles and how they're growing, right? What we do when we lift is we get all these little micro tears. And when we rest and allow our body to rest, that little muscle tears, which sounds awful, so beautiful, is actually rebuilding and building stronger, more resilient muscles. That's what we want. So when we're working or overworking muscles, that's not giving them the opportunity to grow and build like we want. So we want that rest time to be used so efficiently outside of the gym too. It is 100% okay to take rest days. And they don't have to mean you're like, okay, I'm just gonna like lounge and do absolutely nothing. You can still walk and move your body or go do fun things, but it can be that opportunity to just let your body be out of the gym for a moment. Um, Next piece I'm going to talk about, and this one is also for all of us out there too, is we need our sleep. Women really need their sleep. Give me like a hand raise if you are getting 7 hours of sleep every night, at least 7. You can give me a sad face. No, I don't really want sad faces in the comments. But really thinking about sleep as this necessary piece of our journeys, because a lot of times people think, oh, I can live off of 4, 5, 6 hours of sleep. But when we think about 7, 8, research is showing that women probably need around 8 to 10 hours of sleep every night. So we're usually 7 is a really good place, but the more sleep we can get, the better your results are going to be in the gym, because what is sleep doing for your body, right? This is really important. When you're sleeping, your body is literally going through like a de-stressing period. It is allowing your body to kind of recover and to take over from all the stress of the day. So when you are doing that, when you are getting not enough sleep, that impacts your results in the gym. I can tell you when I don't get a good night's sleep, my gym sessions just aren't as fancy and wonderful. I can feel it. And that place for me is when I start to realize, like, ugh, you just feel it overall at work, energy, life, workouts. I mean, and you're in hustle mode. We don't have time to just be like, oh, I don't feel like it. So, really maximizing that sleep. And I'm also going to put in this little note for anybody that might be perimenopausal, menopausal stage of their life, sleep is super important. Remember when I said like that is a huge de-stressor? Sleep is really important in this stage of life, which can be tough because there's a lot going on with hormones, right? When you're in perimenopause, your estrogen and progesterone are fluctuating up and down, which can make your cortisol be like, well, hello, and spike up. And the more we can use sleep, the better you're going to be able to handle that stress. You actually just become this huge stress manager during perimenopause and menopause time. And the more we can release that internal stress that's happening, the better you're going to be. So, just putting that out there for you guys too, because I know sometimes it's like, what can I do? Ladies, sleep is so underrated. So underrated. And yes, like Kristen says, fat loss also happens while we sleep. So allowing your body to get that beautiful sleep is just going to help level you up. And your workouts are a stress on your body. So just reminding yourself that it's not just your life stress that we're recovering from, because we have so many different sources of stress, right? Katie talked about that at the beginning yesterday of like chaotic day. If you think about it, you've got life stress, you've got your own like thoughts and struggles with work and obstacles that you're like crushing and overcoming, and then you've got your workouts and then your sleep. So all of these pieces are so important to be able to recover from, so we can continue to build that muscle and just see the results that we're putting in all this hard work to do. All right. So let's rest inside the gym and outside of the gym. All right. That way we can build up. And if you're struggling to get the sleep in, don't try to do it all in one fell swoop. Don't be like, I'm at 5 hours and I'm going to go to 8. That's going to take a minute. Give yourself time to just slowly build up over time. I promise you, you can do it. Even if it's like, I'm going to go to bed 15 minutes earlier, you're going to start building those habits. And we know, and everything we're talking about today, right? These are all habits that are going to build you a consistency that's going to showcase your results. And that's what we want, to build those habits. And that leads us into our final point today, which might be the reason number 5, we're not seeing those desired like physique results from all of our workouts. And it's not having enough variety in your workout. I talked about this a little bit with progressive overload, but this doesn't just fall under progressive overload. Having variety in your workouts is so important. There's a lot of times what we'll see is people who've been doing a program for such a long time. And usually what happens when we're doing the same program over and over and over, we get bored. We're like, I don't really feel like this workout today. Like we do. And as humans, we love novelty, right? We love routine, but we also like to shake it up. And so that's why, again, here at Queens of Iron, we have a new program come in every 4 weeks. And you're going to see a variety of those things we said in progressive overload, like tempos and drop sets and pause reps and playing around with pauses and doing some different intensity techniques that are going to keep your muscles challenged, keep your muscles growing, keep you engaged, keep you excited about your workouts, and also kind of keep you mentally stimulated too, because the gym is such a mental game as much as it's a physical game. And that's so important because everything we do is not random. We don't want this random tempo in here. We don't want this random thing. We want our programs to build on each other. That way, we continue to build those muscles. We continue to target the muscles we want. And we continue to just be this absolute powerhouse in and out of the gym, which is what we want. And ultimately, get that fit feminine physique that you've been like working so hard to get. And, when we think about these 5 reasons, if we stop and pause and go, okay, do I have a specific program that's really targeting the physique I want? Am I focusing on my form and really making sure I'm dialed in on that and taking form videos and really making sure that I feel really solid in how I'm lifting? Am I able to really progressively overload and do some different things when, especially if I can't go up in weight, to one, keep my program interesting, but also really continue to build this muscle? Am I getting adequate rest in and out of the gym to be able to continue to lift heavy, to continue to de stress my body? And do I have some variety in my lifts? Or am I doing the same thing over and over and over? When we're looking at these 5 reasons, these are so important. And I want to remind you that, like, if you're feeling like at the end of this, like, oh my goodness, this is a lot, right? That's okay to say it, because it is. It is a lot of to think about, right? And when you're out there crushing your life, you're doing you, you are in this place where you're like, I now have to figure out my workout plan, making sure my form is on, making sure I'm progressively overloading while doing the sleep, getting in all these pieces. It's a lot to think about. And I want you to know that it is okay to say it's a lot. So start with something that feels doable. Like I said earlier, even with like the Goldilocks, start with something that might feel a little doable and a little challenging. But I also want to remind you here at Queens of Iron, if you're feeling like stagnant, if you're feeling stuck, shoot Kristen a DM, right? Send her a message and just take that opportunity to say, like, hey, I'm realizing I just heard Sierra's, talk about training, and I'm just like, shh, ah, I know I need some help here. And she can really help guide you and help give you some direction so we know what your goals are, where you want to go, and help starting to move you forward to get there. Because that's what we want to do here at Queens of Iron, is just level you up. Nobody wants to go work out all the time and not see the results, right? So make sure that if you're feeling that way, reach out. Reach out to one of our coaches. We are here to help support you in all of this. And I think the best part is this is our area of expertise. So you don't have to have all the knowledge. Use us. All right. Um, big, big, big things to remember. I said this at the beginning, but please make sure you are liking, commenting on posts, and there will be like the after action post later today that we'll be posting here, I think at 1 p.m. Pacific. I'm in Eastern, so it'd be 4 p.m. Eastern. And that will be on this live, but also on that to be entered in. We're giving away 10 of the macro tracking Track Like a Pro in 7 days or less courses. It is amazing. It's so much information that is going to set you up for success if you are like, macros, what? Or I understand, but I just need more. This course is for you. So please do that so we can get you entered in and get you set up for success. And good news is tomorrow, be back here, same time, because Kristen is going to rock your world. We've talked about nutrition. Today we talked about training, and she's going to talk about more about that lifestyle aspect and even why coaching might be something that might be up your alley. And she's going to rock your world with how we make this place where we can build these fit feminine physiques, but not like building like a bikini competitor, but we don't need to be like how hardcore they are. We get to live our lives and eat foods we love and build a lifestyle we just can keep going over time, right? Those habits that keep just staying with us long, long time from now. So she's going to be back on tomorrow. She's going to rock your world. I'm so freaking jazzed. So we will see you tomorrow. And let me know if this was valuable for you today. Give me a thumbs up or favorite emoji, heart emoji, star emoji. I don't care. Whatever emoji floats your boat. So we know that, like, hey, this was so super useful. But we will see you tomorrow. And I hope you have such a beautiful day. We'll see you tomorrow.